Hello, once again, friends and fellow adventurers. Thank you for joining me here in this video. We are going to be continuing our adventures of Zargo the Orc Fighter. And today is going to be session 11, I believe, which is awesome. We're cruising right through it. Let's just continue where we left off, which was Zargo had left her mother's house. She went home and had like a lot of stuff racing through her head because she never knew this about her mother. She had the curse activate the night before. Yeah, this is still Moon Day, so the prior night when they were investigating the sewers, her and Vega, she had this thing awaken inside of her, and she was very curious about it, and she asked her mother about it, and her mother gave her a lot more information than I believe she was expecting to hear. The curse that is on them, the origin is still unknown. I hope we figure that out later on. But it kind of consumes, it takes over, it dominates the cursed person, and it runs in their family. Every firstborn daughter in each family has had this curse as far back as they can remember. Your eyes glow, and your element surrounds you, just like the kineticist feed the aura and all that. So, but her mother, Zargo's mother, is able to manipulate metal. Zargo, we rolled for Zargo. She is going to be able to manipulate fire, but Zargo does not know this. As far as Zargo is concerned and knows, she's thinking that she is able to manipulate metal like her mother. So in her mind, and just kind of like when she got back home, she like sat down at her table and she would pick up her fork and focus all she could to try to bend this fork, and of course nothing came of that. So that's how we ended last session. We are continuing off of that. So Zargo went home. I'm thinking the rest of her day was really uneventful. I'm thinking she finished out the rest of the night. She had dinner. She did her evening workout, kind of her meditation. I bet especially tonight she did probably an extra long meditation for her god Aurori, for her own mental and spiritual balancing, and now all this new information. She definitely did some extra meditating that night, and she went to bed. Now she's gonna wake up the next day. This is gonna be Toil Day the 7th, which essentially Tuesday for us, but Toil Day the 7th of Kuthona. She wakes up bright and early. She does her morning exercises, again like always, goes for her morning run around the block. Now, we need to roll for weather to see what the weather is like today. Yesterday was nice and calm. It was a nice change from the night before, which was stormy, very stormy. While her and Vega were investigating the sewers, of course. High waters, heavy rain. That was fun. But today, let's roll for weather. We got a 4. Alright, it's going to be another calm day. The clouds have mostly all blown out. It's a nice, I would say cool day, but it's still pretty warm temperature-wise. The Pathfinder wiki says that this is a tropical island, like a jungle island. So I'm thinking even in the winter time, which is what this would be, Kuthona is essentially December, it's still going to be nice and warm, but cool for the rest of the year. So she dresses appropriately, goes for her morning run, watches the ships sail and the dock workers hustle and bustle, carrying boxes up ships and down ramps. As she's making her jog, she jogs down the beach, nice little lonely area where she can clear her mind a little bit. She makes it back home. We need to see if she works today. Now, she was off yesterday on Moon Day, so I'm going to roll to see if she's off also on Toil Day. If she has like a 2-day weekend kind of thing, like a lot of people. If this comes up a no, I'm just going to think she has 1 day off every week. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to like wake up every morning, does she work today? And roll. That would be lame. But I will roll this one other time. So, does Zargo have Toil Day off? It's unlikely that she has today off. 06. That is an extreme yes. She does have today off, so she has every Tuesday off, every toil day off, which is funny because in real life that's my day off as well. So she is off once more today. All right, so that's going to kind of change what we do. So we're going to go to our adventure journal, and we're going to go down to our 7th scene of this game, and it's going to be Zargo's day off, just like Ferris Bueller's day off, right? Zargo's day off. I'm sure it's going to be far less extravagant than Ferris Bueller's day off. Zargo's day off. That's going to be our whole scene because most likely nothing's going to come of it, but we need to maybe throw some conflict in there. So, seeing how beautiful the weather is, Zargo is tempted to go out. She loves nature. We know that from her character creation. So she loves the environment. We rolled environment and guide. So I'm thinking she's going to go on a nice long hike, and she's going to head south. She's going to hike to the south of town. Now, this is the big island that I've hardly ever even shown at all because, well, nothing's taken us outside of the city yet. I am going to get us outside of the city at some point. I'm going to force the dice to get us out of there because I don't want to be stuck in this whole city, this whole law and order kind of shenanigans going on. It is fun, I'll say that, but I don't want that to really be the main focus of this. I want high adventure, high fantasy, going from town to town, kind of thing, helping people fight crimes. But she's blossoming. She's a little bud right now. She's got a bloom. She's going to travel south of the city gate, though, and she kind of passes the guards at the entrances. She kind of gives. They know her. She's done this. This isn't her first time going out hiking because, again, she loves nature. So, and she's a guard, so she's pretty well known with the other guards, obviously. But she kind of nods at them as she goes out. She is going to wear her armor because she just bought it. It's brand new. You get something new, you take it with you everywhere. You do everything you can with it if you can. So she is definitely going to bring her armor with her on her hike, which is kind of counterintuitive. Why would you wear 70 pounds of extra armor to just go walk around in the woods? Regardless, obviously, she's just going to wear that in case we get into something fun and some kind of fight. So she's going to do that. She's going to go hiking for her day off. Now, we need to roll to see if her hike goes as planned. So, roll to test the scene, like we always do. And if it's like always, it's going to be an altered scene. Chaos Factor 4 with is that a 1? Of course it's a 1. It's an altered scene. All right, so she's going to go on a hike, but it's going to be changed somehow. And how is her hike going to be changed? Let's find out. I'm going to go action because we need some action happening, right? Yeah, action. How is her hike altered? 27. Decrease. All right, this next word is 17. Wow, dice likes to roll 7. All right. Decrease cooperation. Tell you what, I will go with that. I have something. So it's not going to really affect her hike at all. Her hike is going to go as expected. So she's going to hike through the woods on her normal trail that she hikes, relatively safe. She sees a few wildlife creatures, and that kind of sets her mind at ease. Very peaceful for her. And she's coming back. She's making it back. It's getting late in the day. Sun's starting to go down. She had a big, nice, long hike. She's passing the guards again, going back into the city. And the guards see her coming, they kind of wave and they nod. Oh, hey, Zargo. How are you? How was your hike? Oh, my hike was good, thank you. So, Zargo, I heard your partner is on thin ice. She might be getting let go. Hence, this is where decreased cooperation comes in. Her partner, which is cooperation, and decrease is maybe getting the chop. So, yep, that's kind of what they pass on to her. Like, oh, your partner, I hear, is had to talk with the chief today, and I don't think it went so well. And she's like, well, I reckon I'll have to deal with that in the morning then. Thanks for letting me know. You fellas, keep up the good work. Keep this gate safe, all right? She kind of jokes as she goes past. But she is kind of concerned. She wasn't trying to let on that she was concerned, but she kind of liked Vega. She literally only knew Vega that one day, but she seemed to like her all right. So Zargo goes home, and I can get this out of your guys' way. And actually, the reason I had that out was because we were going to do that. There we go. All right, so Zargo goes back to her apartment. She eats dinner. She lays down for the night, and that's going to be the end of that scene. Which, yeah, she was in control of that scene. Really don't want to lower the chaos factor again, just because that was a quick nothing scene where nothing really happened. But you know what? We'll follow the rules, and we'll do it how Mythic tells us to. So she goes to bed. She wakes up. She does her morning routine again, as always. She gets dressed for work that day. She gets to put on her brand new armor. She's excited for that. But she's not excited to go in and talk to the chief. She has a few things to talk to the chief about. But now she has to talk to the chief about her partner as well. So she gets dressed. She takes her morning walk. As the sun's starting to come up, she makes it to the guardhouse, and she makes it inside. So we rolled. Vega's already in the office. Zargo opens the door. She sees Vega sitting in the chair. She makes her way in. She can see the chief is already upset. He's got a lot on his mind. He's sitting at his desk. Paperwork stacked so high you can barely see his head over it. Chief, just here to report in for the day. I had a couple of things I wanted to ask you about. Yes, sit down, Zargo. I have a few things I need to talk to you about as well. Vega here, as I'm sure you've probably heard, is on some pretty thin ice. Not only was she extremely late reporting in yesterday, but also, we're going to roll to see what is also. Descriptor, that's a 29 on the descriptors, going to be enormously, okay, and 86. Enormously scary. Okay, she's been scaring a lot of the citizens, I think. Not only has she been late, extremely late yesterday, but we have many reports of her just flat out scaring the citizens. With her angry attitude, it's just piss poor attitude, really, is what it comes down to. Now, Vega, and he looks at Vega, I was doing you a favor when I partnered you with Zargo. I thought that this would maybe help straighten you out, but already I can see that it is not doing any good for any of us. Zargo, do you have anything to say in her defense? Anything on her behalf that can maybe save her skin and keep her on this force? Otherwise, I'm about ready to just let her go. Well, yes, actually, Chief. I may have only been paired with her for one day, but already I can tell that she is an exceptional guard. She cut down that zombie at the mortuary without even effort. And then, after that, she helped us find a good place to get some information, which led us down to those sewers, in which we were able to extract some information on a man named Amari. Did you by chance come across that ledger that I brought in for evidence? The ledger? No, I have not seen any ledger yet. What are you talking about? Well, I turned it in to one of the guards here. At the time, I filled out the paperwork and we put it in the evidence room. Are you sure you didn't get it? I'm quite sure I didn't, but we'll worry about that in a minute. What about Vega? You saying you think she deserves a second chance? Because I'm thinking she doesn't. Look, Chief, yes, definitely. She deserves a second chance. And she's gonna make fuck it, we'll have some fun. She's gonna make a diplomacy check, but I'm gonna make it pretty easy. Chief's already in a lot of crap. He has a lot of crap on his plate as it is. So she is gonna make a. So yeah, we'll give her a performance check because she's really trying to sell this. She's trying to church it up. So I'm just gonna make it a DC 10. Zargo is trying to talk up good to the boss. Really? Man, she couldn't have had like a whatever. Okay, so she fails at that. I put it to a test. Zargo, you know, I'm just really not buying it. Vega, this is not your second chance. This is your last chance. If I don't see something exceptionally good by the end of the day today, you're off the force, and that's that. Also, Zargo, that prisoner you brought in, because Zargo doesn't know this yet, that prisoner you brought in yesterday, last night I guess it was, well, it seems he didn't even survive the night. He was found stabbed to death in his cell this morning. Any ideas of what could have done that? No, not at all. Granted, he seems to be connected to some of the other Lamashtu worshippers that we found in the cellar there. Certainly the cleanup crews got in there and did their work. I don't think they would have, actually. No, we didn't bother sending the cleanup crews down in there. That place was locked up airtight, tighter than you know what. We couldn't find an entrance from upstairs, and I'm not sending my boys in through the sewers to clean up some dead bodies. We'll let them clean up their own trash. But we will keep eyes on that sewer gate that you mentioned was the entrance. We'll fortify some guards there. And I don't know. Maybe you want to go check out the prison cell. See if you can discover anything in there. Maybe some evidence. Maybe do some police work as he looks over at Vega to keep your jobs. But you go do that. I'm gonna go check out this ledger that you speak of. I'm gonna get that. Now you two, get out of my office. I got shit to do. So, Zargo and Vega are going to indeed go over and investigate what they can in this cell here. So this guy is dead, and they've probably already removed his body. So his name was Drew. He was a dwarf. I'm sure somebody kind of already, surely did some police work in here at the stabbing scene. But anyway, this was Zargo's case, so Zargo and Vega are going to do the investigation on that. And before we do that, I'm going to roll to see if the ledger is still in evidence, which I'm thinking, I'm going to say... Okay, I put it down to a chaos factor 3. So that is going to up our chances of it being a no. So I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. But I'm still going to make it very unlikely. Is the ledger still in the evidence locker? 70, no. So 77. Doubles, but way above our chaos factor of 3. So there's definitely not going to be any random events today. But anyway, no, so the chief went to check for that, and it is missing, so we'll deal with that later. But now, Zargo and Vega are investigating this cell. So we know for sure someone came in here, so they had to have been either disguised as a guard, or they completely just snuck in stealthily. So, how are we going to discern any of this? Zargo and Vega are both going to give just a perception check, maybe. So, DC 16, I think that's fair. A DC 16, both our characters are going to roll. Now, if you notice, I did change the dice of our characters, and actually, I might go back on Vega's dice, because now that I'm looking in the camera, you can't really see Vega's dice very well. Regardless, Zargo doesn't find crap, but even I had to pick that one up to look at. That's a 17 for Vega. Vega does, and we need to find out what Vega sees. $46. Happily. Okay. This might be a tough one. Happily and 71. Happily pale. Happily pale. Okay. I got this. It's a stretch, but it's something. Okay. So Vega. She's searching the cell. Zargo too. But Vega's eyes catch a glimpse of something on one of the bars of the cell. It's a scratch. Almost like an indentation into the metal. It looks like there was a bit of a struggle. The man wasn't just killed outright. Whoever it was that came in and stabbed him. Zargo, look here. It had to have been a blade made of bone to make that mark there. See that pale scratch there? Almost looks like a smiley face, the way it's looking. Yeah, it's happily pale. Yeah, that's definitely a mark from a bone blade. And you know who uses bone blades? No, not exactly, Vega. I don't recall ever seeing a bone blade, actually. I was hoping you would guess that, but worshippers of Lamash too, Zargo. The exact people that we were fighting last night. The other night, not last night. Forgive me. My days kind of run together. Yes, and speaking of that night, when we get out of here, I have a few questions I need to ask you, Vega. Yes, Zargo. I understand. But for now, let us focus on this. Now, if it was one of the members of the people we were fighting that night, that means it was one of his own people. They knew he was in here, so that makes sense. They knew where he was. That also adds up, too. But how did they get in? There was a guard posted there. Let's go ask him. So they go over to the guard, just down here. The jailer, who's always on duty. You there, jailer. You were the one here last night, yes? Oh, alright, I was. I already know what you're gonna ask. No, nobody was in here. There were no visitors last night. I was not sleeping. Was he sleeping? We need to know. 50-50, was he actually sleeping? On a chaos factor... 21. 50-50 on chaos factor 3 is a yes. So he was actually sleeping. I definitely was not sleeping, so you don't even need to ask me that. I don't have an accent picked out for this guy, so he's gonna be all over the place. I definitely was not sleeping. Zargo and Vega are gonna sense motive on that. I'm gonna make that a DC 12. It's a perception. Vega yeah, I don't like these dice. They are very hard to see, so we're gonna ixnay those. She did not notice, but Zargo can tell that this guy is lying. And she knows him, so she's kind of like, she's like, look, that's not Zargo's voice. Man, I'm really off my game tonight. Anyway, look, Sky, I know you have a habit of sleeping your shift's away, and I don't believe you that you were not sleeping, and somebody just happened to walk right past you without you noticing. But I will not tell the chief that that is what happened, but you're gonna have to come up with a better lie than that when he asks you. Alright. Thanks, Zargo. You're the best. But, yeah, I think I probably dropped the ball on this one, guys. I'm pretty sorry. I'm a goblin. My name's Sky. I'm a male goblin. But, so I'm gonna get back to work. My shift's about over, finally. Again, thanks for not ratting me out, Zargo. But, yeah, sorry, guys. So, they did their investigation. They make their way back out. Zargo's gonna. I'm gonna end this session here in just a minute because it's kind of really just dragging on. But Zargo's gonna go talk to the chief. She kind of tells Vega to wait for her outside. Zargo comes in. Chief, we finished seeing what we could find out about the murdered prisoner, and it seems like some other members of his order or whatever they are were the ones behind it. See, once again, Zargo came through. I'm Zargo. See, once again, Vega came through for us. She spotted just the smallest piece of evidence on the wall, indicating that there was a bone blade used, and a small scuffle ensued before he was finally done in. So what about, did you find that ledger I was talking about? No, I did not find that ledger you were talking about. It wasn't there. I did, however, see the paperwork for it being put in there. Now, the fact that it is not there raises some more eyebrows. This scratchy voice is really killing my throat. But looks like I'm going to have to beef up security in the night shift. Because not only was a prisoner murdered in a secure facility, but also our evidence locker, which is locked behind 3 separate locks, was stolen from as well, all in one night. So I'm going to be having a talk with some of these guys. I'm going to have to be firing some of them now. I don't have time to be hiring new idiots to be doing this stuff. Aye. Zargo, get out of my office, and you better not come back unless you have something good to say. Now go. So we are going to stop it there. Zargo meets Vega outside on the steps, outside the Port District Guardhouse, and they are going to continue their shift today, and they are going to have a few things to talk about. Zargo needs to talk to Vega about why she left her high and dry that night, and where Amari went, and anything she needs to know about that. So that's going to be our next episode. Thank you all for joining me, and I will hopefully see you again in our next Session 12 episode. As always, thank you for watching. I will catch you next time. Goodbye, friends.